Ja, nee, lekker mense. Good day and welcome to the South African lawn. Alright. Ja, okay mense, lekker and welcome to today's video. Let's talk a little bit about our Kikuyu, or grass in general, and the last while here in South Africa. So if you are in South Africa and you are just a little bit aware of things around you, you would have probably noticed that in South Africa, over the last few months, we've had lots and lots of rain. And that's cared for some fast-growing Kikuyu, if you get what I'm saying. But let's talk about the things that the rain brought for us. All right? Yeah, okay, so the rain. I'll try and put up a chart here of how frequently it rained. And in my situation here in Johannesburg, we didn't have like excessive amounts of water every now and then, but we had very frequent rain. It was raining every day or every second day. You get what I'm saying? And that has led to a couple of things. And the first thing I want to mention is overgrowth. So luckily here, I reset the height, and that worked kind of in my favor because this thing never really got completely out of hand. But overgrowth might be something that you're struggling with. You might be cutting off all the green leaf blades. So there's one or two things that you can do. You can either raise your height of cut so that you've actually got leaf blade exposed, or you can reset your height by basically scalping it down a little bit and resetting your height, and then allowing for leaf blade to grow, because it could easily look a little bit whitish or yellowish if you keep continuously cutting off all the leaf blades into the crown of the plant. So the other thing that's also very common while having so much rain is nutrient depletion. So in other words, firstly, it's very difficult to fertilize while it's raining. I do it. I run like a crazy monkey when it rains. But a lot of the times what happens is excessive water cares for the carry away of nutrients, or flush. I'm trying to sound fancy, but really what's happening is there's nutrients in the soil, and then the water comes, it clings onto that nutrients, and it takes it and washes it away from your lawn. So what happens is a few weeks or a few days later, your lawn has used up all the nutrients, and now it's starting to turn a little bit like palish and not as greenish, if that makes sense, you know. So regular fertilizing, spoon feed fertilizing, if these things happen, like a lot of rain, and I've heard speculation that we might get even more rain up until the end of March. How true that is, I'm not 100% sure. Don't take my word for that. But if something like that happens, try and spoon feed with your fertilizing, even maybe irrigate. If you don't want to, like, I always feel it's a little bit risky to run out in the rain because you don't know how much water is coming down. So if it stops raining, even then irrigate those nutrients into the soil, okay? So that your lawn has something to feed off. Okay, so the last thing I want to talk about that the rain brings before we get to some action here is the humidity, and obviously the plain commonly just the amount of water that's gone into our lawns, you know. But that has also built up some humidity and not allow the lawn to dry out, and that has brought some diseases and funguses. Just look how nice this lawn looks, guys. I was very fortunate to have by accident applied, not accident, I applied, but I mean it's almost as if it's an accident, plant growth regulator. So this never got overgrown, and I'm also now at the tallest mowing setting, and it just looks flippin' lekker, Owens. So yeah, diseases and funguses, guys, because of the lawn not being able to dry up. Thankfully now we've got 5-6 days of lekker weather. It has allowed funguses, diseases to thrive. We're going to talk about a couple of products that we can apply to our lawn. But that, I think, has taken us high-veld people, or let me rather say people away from the coastal areas with grass types used to dry, warmish, lowish humidity weather, to now all of a sudden start thinking about things like diseases and how to control these type of things, which is difficult for us to grasp because we're used to such lack of weather, and the weather here in Joburg normally cares for everything, you know. We get like good rain, enough water through the summer, periods of dry out before it rains again. So it's lack of weather here, but this year has been a little bit different. Just check here, guys. these flippin' street surfers take the plastic and then they just throw the things that was in the plastic next to the dustbins. That's a bit of a frustration. Yeah, so last night I dug up this area here to replace a sprinkler pipe, which I must have damaged about 3-4 months back with the plugging of this dog damaged area. You know, so that's just an illustration of how long ago it was since I've used my irrigation. A lot of rains, Hans, a lot of rains. Yeah, check it out. Last night in the dark, replacing a sprinkler pipe. Yeah, so the lawn is looking lacquer. However, it's got a bit of a brownish tinge. Well, not brownish tinge, but it's got spots. That is, it's turning brown because of a fertilizer burn. Because I put down a fertilizer dose this morning, very early. Actually, in fact, to be honest with you, before 6, so that I can irrigate it in at a sensible hour, you know, for irrigation. But then I learned that there's something keeping my sprinklers from properly irrigating. You know, they were just like spitting out water. And then I learned that I had a hole in my sprinkler pipe, so I'll be replacing that. I didn't have the fitting right there and then, so I had to go and buy it, and now it's after work approximately 12 hours later, and I'll only be fixing it now and be ready to irrigate my lawn now. Yeah, that's a nightmare. Luckily not too much nitrogen down, just a moderate application. It's a real pity, you know, because the lawn has just recovered completely from that dog damage, and now I'm starting to dig it up all again. Right, so I've got the hole there, and it came as a bit of a surprise to me, this hole, to be honest with you. That's why I turned the irrigation on with no clue that this was going to happen. And the only thing that I can think was about 3-4 months back, before the last time that I've actually put on my irrigation, it must have happened while I was putting these plugs in where the dog damage were, because I've never, after that, been here with a garden fork. So it just shows you how good our rain was, maybe a little bit too much, but yeah, there's a broken bit, and that's the part that I need to replace. So what I'll do here is, I'll just put one of these couplers or full flow connectors. This is what it looks like, right in there. So I'll cut it off, about 1 centimeter off on each side. So I sometimes use this blade, and sometimes I actually just use this garden like scissor. So I'll show you both methods here. This one probably a little bit more dangerous. I just cut it like that. Because it's irrigation pipe, it's quite soft. So your HDPE pipes or your high density polyethylene or whatever works a little bit more difficult, but these things normally work quite easy. There we go. Like that, and then I normally just use my hands or a cloth and then just wipe it like the mud off. That should be a perfect connection. Yeah guys, so welcome to my bluegrass, and the last thing I just want to mention is back once again to the funguses, and that is with this humid weather obviously funguses thrive. So I want to show you an area right there which has gotten some fungus, which I'm treating with this product called Bumper 250 EC, and it's got an active ingredient called propaganazole, in brackets triazole, whatever, 250 grams per liter, whatever, which I get from Grasses and Greens, by the way. You can get fungicides from most of your stores, but this I get from Grasses and Greens. where I buy most of my things. So yeah, I've treated for fungus about 6-7 days back, and it seems as if I've got this thing under control now. It stopped it in its tracks, and most of the areas it was mainly there is now starting to recover. But I'll probably apply this as a preventative once again in about 3-4 days. Normally a good idea 10-14 days apart, obviously at a lower rate. So look out for those things, guys. This rain is great. We're not irrigating, but in excessive, like maybe too frequent manner that it's been coming down, it could lead to some issues. So keep fertilized, check out for trouble areas, especially now probably some insects as well could damage your lawn. Check out for those type of things, and then yeah, I'll see you in the next video. I hope you enjoyed it.